Part 1. The Invitation from the Himalayas. The YouTube channel, Beyond Limits India, had just hit 20,000 subscribers. Run by 3 young creators, Arjun, leader and narrator, Dev, cameraman, and Ravi, technical and post-production. The team was known for exploring forgotten places off the map. One winter night, Arjun received an anonymous email with the subject line, "You want views? Walk into what has never let anyone walk out." Attached was a single GPS coordinate located near Ladakh, deep in the Himalayas, and one sentence: "There's a cave they called the Mute Maw, a place that listens." Arjun checked the map. It pointed to an unmarked crevice near the edge of a steep, treacherous cliff. No trails, no documented expeditions, no online references. "This is the video that will make us," he said. Dev and Ravi nodded. The journey took 2 days by 4x4 and another full day of hiking through snow-laced forests. At the base of the mountain, they encountered an old lama gathering firewood near an ancient monastery. "You boys going that way?" the old man asked in broken English. "It's just a cave, sir," Arjun smiled. The lama's expression didn't change. "No, not a cave. It listens and learns." He said nothing more. Instead, he shoved a small goat bone amulet into Arjun's hand, etched with Tibetan characters, and whispered, "If you hear your own voice inside, do not answer." The next morning, they reached the site. The cave entrance didn't look like an entrance. It was a long, narrow tear across black stone, like a wound dried shut. Over 2 meters high, just wide enough for a man to stoop through. No footprints, no wind, no sound. Arjun began filming. Dev prepped the GoPro chest rig. Ravi checked the drone battery, all fully charged. Time, 9:17 a.m. Day 1, we're about to enter a cave no one's ever stepped into before. "This is a moment we'll remember for life," Arjun said into the camera. The 3 stepped forward. One flashlight flicked on, and a door behind them would never open again. Part 2. The Path Without an End. Inside, the air was freezing and unnaturally dense, as if the entire mountain had been holding its breath for centuries. They walked slowly. Flashlights barely pierced 4 to 5 meters ahead before their beams were swallowed whole. No reflective stone, no glistening stalactites like in the other caves they'd explored. Just darkness, thick as tar. "We're descending, right?" Ravi asked. Arjun nodded. The inclinometer showed -15 degrees. They were steadily, almost imperceptibly, heading deep into the mountain's core. About an hour in, Dev froze. "Arjun, is this right?" Dev's watch read 11:46 a.m. Arjun glanced at his. 9:22 a.m. Ravi looked down. "Mine's frozen at 9:17 since we entered." 3 people. 3 different times. They checked the GoPro footage. Only 17 minutes had recorded. No one laughed. 500 meters deeper, Dev suddenly stopped. "Did you hear that?" All of them paused. Ravi whispered, "Footsteps! Behind us!" They turned. Nothing. Just an echo. But not their echo. It came before they spoke, like a voice learning their rhythm. Arjun checked his instruments, humidity sensor, CO2 levels, compass, all malfunctioning. They launched the drone. It flew barely 3 meters before cutting out. The monitor displayed only 4 seconds before going dark. A figure, kneeling, facing the stone wall, less than 50 meters away. "There's someone in here." Dev stepped back. "No way, no footprints, and there's no air down here for long-term survival." Ravi argued. Arjun looked up. And if someone was here, why haven't they ever come out? Why no stories, no data? The only response was silence so long it felt sentient. At the next turn, Arjun recoiled. In the rock crevice was a shard of glass, no larger than a palm, half buried in stone. He leaned closer. The reflection showed the three of them, and a fourth figure, taller, standing directly behind Dev. But when they turned around, nothing was there. Ravi reviewed the GoPro. Camera says 34 minutes recorded, battery down to 12%, but I feel like we've been here at least 4 hours. Dev muttered, dazed. We're not moving through time normally anymore. Then, the cave began to speak. Not water, not wind, a whisper, fragmented, moist, like a mouth learning language without a tongue. Arjun froze. He heard it clearly. Don't turn back. Two choices now. Go back, but they no longer knew the way. Go forward and hope for an end, or at least air. They went forward. Every step took them further away from the world's 3 dimensions. Part 3. The second layer of echoes. They kept walking. None of them spoke now unless absolutely necessary. Every sentence they uttered was echoed a few seconds later, but with a subtle distortion, as if something were trying to repeat them before it understood the meaning. Dev said softly, "Be careful." Seconds later, from deep in the passage, "Be careful." Same voice, same words, but the tone was off, like a child mimicking speech with a torn throat. Eventually, they entered a wide chamber, large and eerily quiet, like a buried cathedral. No stalactites, no moss, no water. Just the cold, dry walls and long gouge marks carved in rows across the stone, as if something had tried for centuries to claw its way out from below. In the center, a round mirror, cracked in two. Its metal rim was engraved with ancient Sanskrit. Ravi crouched, reading aloud in fragments. This speaks of an entity without a name. It doesn't hunt. It waits for you to speak your own name aloud. "Ravi," Dev said urgently, "your hand." Ravi looked down. His fingers were torn open, bleeding, but he hadn't felt a thing. "We need to leave," Arjun whispered. "I think this thing feeds on language. It's learning how to use our speech." Dev stood frozen, pale. I heard my mom's voice from the wall." In that moment, every flashlight cut out. Only the GoPro's blinking red light remained. A breeze passed through, inside a sealed cave, carrying the scent of burnt flesh and iron-rich blood. And then, from the darkness, a woman's voice, syrupy, warped, spoke. "Arjun, come home." He stiffened. It was his mother's voice. She'd been dead for 5 years. Veer flicked on his emergency LED, and in that flash of light, something was standing between them. Tall, gaunt. Its skin looked like gray ash, caked and cracked. Its face was formless, but its mouth stretched in a smile that reached from ear to ear. Ravi screamed, hurling the voice recorder. Arjun grabbed both, and they ran. No direction, just away. The laughter came next, not echoing from the wall, but from everywhere at once. A chorus of hundreds of versions of themselves, all laughing at slightly wrong pitches. Then, silence, followed by one single slow breath behind their necks. The GoPro kept filming. It captured a pale hand pulling Dev into the wall, vanishing as if it were water. Arjun and Ravi spun around. Dev was gone. No scream, no trace, just the GoPro on the ground, blinking. And in the reflection on its lens, Dev was still standing behind them. Part 4. The exit isn't behind you. Dev vanished like he had never existed. No scream, no sound, no shadow. Just an absence so heavy it felt alive. Ravi turned to Arjun, panic overtaking him. We don't have a way out. Arjun scanned the walls, breathing hard. No, there has to be. We came from... He stopped mid-sentence. Etched into the wall before them with deep, clawed scratches were the words, "Do not go back the way you came, because you are no longer the one who came in." A sharp pain sliced through Arjun's mind. He stumbled, dizzy. Images of Dev surfaced, but his face was now blurred, his voice indistinct. It was like trying to remember a dream and feeling it disintegrate as you reached for it. "No!" Arjun shouted. "Dev was my friend. He, curly hair, deep voice, brown eyes." But the harder he tried, the faster Dev's image faded, like sand slipping through trembling fingers. Ravi grabbed Arjun's shoulders. "That's what it does. It didn't kill him, it devours people by erasing them from the minds of others." The GoPro kept rolling. The footage showed them now sprinting deeper into the cave, but the moment they turned a corner, their flashlight illuminated something. A full-length mirror embedded in the rock. In its reflection, they saw Dev standing, smiling, but not breathing, not blinking. And beside Dev, Arjun, another version, also smiling. Ravi exhaled, horrified. "It doesn't need your body, it just needs to learn how to perform you, for whoever comes next." They turned and ran, but the corridor had changed. No matter which path they chose, they arrived in the same circular chamber, lined with dozens of fractured mirrors. In each one, Arjun sleeping, Ravi screaming, Dev back-turned, and a fourth figure, face blurred, with a smile like a slit across the throat. The darkness began to move. From the ceiling, flesh and stone merged, spawning ears, tongues, and eyes. They chattered, moaned, whispered, and then, all together, in Arjun's voice, "I am Arjun. I am Arjun. I am Arjun." Each repetition tore away another piece of his memory. He collapsed to the ground, mirrors cracked, vision blurred. Ravi yanked him back. "Don't say anything. Don't say your name. Don't react." Then, laughter, a breath on Arjun's neck, and a hand, not his, rested gently on his shoulder, followed by a whisper in his exact voice. "Shall we switch roles now?" The one who came back wasn't the one who entered. This is the closing chapter where the cave doesn't just steal people, it replaces them. Ravi yanked Arjun out of the mirror chamber. The ground beneath them had changed. It no longer felt like stone, but like warm, breathing flesh, sticky and pulsing like a giant heartbeat. They ran. Neither spoke. Because now, every sound was a door, a doorway that allowed the thing behind them to mimic what it heard. Every breath, every grunt, every footstep was echoed, but always slightly off, like a puppet learning its strings. Then, light, not from the sky, but from artificial lamps, flickering faintly. The cave's mouth had reappeared, snow, wind, the scent of incense burning at the monastery down the slope. Arjun and Ravi tumbled out onto the frozen earth. Nothing chased them, no sound followed, only silence. 6 months later, a video was anonymously uploaded to an unknown YouTube channel. The account had only one video titled, "They Thought It Was Just a Cave, Raw Footage." The clip showed Arjun, Dev, and Ravi walking into the cave. All seemed normal until the final few seconds. The GoPro had fallen sideways, the camera tilted. The three walked away from the frame, backs turned, but just before the footage cut out, a fourth person followed behind them, taller than the others, wearing a gray cloak, arms too long, no face, only a smile that reached ear to ear. Back at the monastery, a package arrived. Inside, a scratched, dusty mirror. No sender, no label, but every full moon, the monks claimed they could hear faint giggling from inside it. And a soft, repetitive chant. "I am Arjun. I am Ravi. I am you next." And the only survivor, Arjun, no longer spoke, no longer slept, no longer looked into mirrors. He sat with his back against the monastery wall, motionless. And whenever anyone came close enough to hear him, he whispered, "Don't trust the one who came back from the cave. They're not the same. They just learned how to act like they are."
Subscribe to Dark Whispers to uncover more places that aren't on any map, voices that don't need a speaker, and disappearances that leave no memory behind. Caves with no end, only repetitions. Creatures that don't walk, they follow. Echoes that don't respond, they remember. Because some things don't consume you with teeth. They do it with memory. And some stories aren't told.
Because the only one who came back
wasn't really the one who went in.
If you ever step into a place you think is just a cave and you hear your own voice calling your name, don't answer. Don't turn around. And above all, don't think about the way out. Because what's following you doesn't need your permission. It only needs you to listen.